Yo, what's going on, everybody? We've made it to happy hour, August 20th, 2020. So it's 2020. What a crazy day. When's the next time that's going to happen? Well, I guess like there'll be a 21. No, but it won't be 21. This is the last time I'll be able to say that, I think. Anyway, I'm happy to see you guys, but my mind is a little bit distracted because I'm pretty sure that there's 2 streams going again today. I don't know what I did wrong. I'm sorry. So, all right, I'm going to type something in the chat. This is the real chat. If you don't see that in your chat stream that you're in the wrong live stream. So I don't know why that's happening. I'm really sorry. But yeah, that's what's going on. So I have no idea why there's 2 streams. I looked at I have no idea what happened yesterday when there was 2 streams as well, and it was like there's like 300 views on the other wrong stream. So I'm not sure. I'm so sorry, guys. Jody Run says the other stream is finished, so that's good. I think that's right. I mean that's what it should be. That's what I'm hoping for. So, all right. Frank Lillier says there's only one now. There was a weird 19-second one. Jody Run says the other stream finished. So, okay. So I think we're done with that other universe. So I'm gonna try and figure something out for next time. So hopefully it doesn't happen again. Whew. All right. I think we're set. All right, let's see who else is here. We got Jonathan Fans here, Ty Matt, Mark Rainey. Oh, Mark Rainey needs a cowbell today because I saw that a little bit earlier. Let's get that going. He did his first 50K yesterday, so I feel like I'm in the right stream today. There you go. Good job, Mark, with the first 50K done. That is no small feat. Amazing job. Time Matt says, would Bizarro Kofuzi be shotgunning Natty Lights for happy hour? Probably, because I don't know how to do that. I think I understand how to do that, but it's never been my thing. I'm not good at the funnel either. Like, I mean, I haven't tried funneling a beer in like 2 decades. No, probably less than that. But maybe like 18, 17 years or so, something like that. And I was never good at it back then. I'm most likely not good at it now. But probably... and it would make sense. I remember we used to drink so much Natty Light in college, at least for the beginning of college. And we always considered it kind of like, it was like, for us, it was like drinking Natty Light was like LOL dolls or like those toys that are like surprise packs. Because we always felt like there might be actually Natty Light beer in there. Or they might have just made extra Bud Light down at the brewery and put it in a Natty Light can just to get rid of it. And we're like, you might get lucky. Sometimes it's better on certain days than other days. That's the kind of way we thought about it. And then, even though I went to school in St. Louis, where Natty Light was being brewed, the beer of choice then became Keystones. Because you could buy, I mean, this is dating me a little bit, but when I was in college, you could buy a 12-pack of Keystone cans, and they had redesigned the can to make it look more modern. So you could buy a 12-pack of Keystone beers for $5 and get change back. So that's how old I am. But yeah, that's how you get a college drinker to switch brands. But the other Kofuzi probably is shotgunning Natty Lights. Today I'm going with something 2 weeks in a row, non-alcoholic. I'm going with coffee again, and this time it is called High Brew Coffee. It's dairy-free, black and bold, sugar-free, 10 calories, natural caffeine. Direct trade beans, it looks like. So I thought I'd do this because I wanted to test this out as a potential drink for when we do the coffee mile. I thought I wanted to be able to get a beverage that I can get easily on Amazon, and I got these on Amazon. And in case anyone else wanted to get them to replicate the coffee mile, I figured it'd make it easy. So let's give it a shot. It's been sitting in the fridge for a couple of days now, and I've been very curious as to what these taste like. I don't really drink. I like cold brew coffee, but I don't really get stuff in cans or the bottles or whatever. So we'll see how this goes. It's tasty. A little kind of underwhelming, but it's coffee. It does not have a very strong flavor. I mean, I know it's harder to have a strong flavor with cold brew because it's cold. But Yeah, this will be pretty easy to down. I mean, this will be easy to. I mean, I should be going faster on this because it's only 8 ounces than if I were to try to do a beer mile, because then it'd be 12 ounces of beer and it's not bubbly. But who knows what like the caffeine will do in the stomach? We'll see. All right, let's see what else we got going on in the comments here today. Luis Becerra's here, JC, Louis M, Martha's here. Martha says, did anyone else notice that the parallel live streams yesterday had different total times? I didn't know that. That's unusual. Oh, and Chris Dyke says, and I noticed only one retained the chat comments, the lesser one. That's so weird. I'm not sure. That's Martha says, so I did a mile time trial today and I posted it on Strava. Oh, battery's exhausted. What? Hold on. I'll be right back. We are having all sorts of issues today. Let me try that again. I thought I just charged this battery. All right, new battery. Hopefully that works. All right, so we're back up. Sorry about that. There. Okay, so so I did a mile time trial today, and I did break 6 minutes, which I did not think was going to happen. I was thinking somewhere closer to 6:10. So yeah, but I did it in the SL20s today. So here is the sound that I picked up for the SL20s anytime someone says it. I know that was a little quiet. So that's I think going to be the sound for the SL20s anytime someone says it. Or like the first time. I'm not going to do it every single time. The first time someone says it on the podcast. Let's see. Ty Matt says, while you ran a 5K, 50K, I ate an entire bag of butter-flavored puffcorn. That's awesome. Oh, and he said he did the last mile with his dog. That's so cool. Jeff Ellie says, SL20 alert. Ordered a pair of really ugly ones this morning for $46. $46? $46 for that shoe? It's so amazing. It makes no sense at all. Absolutely no sense. CV76 says, yo, what's going on? Jody Run says, good day. Chris Dyke says, Seth's videos today was sponsored by the Kofuzi Livestream Club, SL20. I didn't know you made an SL20 video. That's funny. I didn't think Seth liked Adidas anymore. Ever since he felt like, because he reviewed the Adios 5, which I thought was a surprise because I felt like he hurt himself running in the Adios 4. So if I were him, I would completely understand if he was like, I'm just not going to run in Adidas for a little while. So that's cool. I'll have to check that out. I'll have to bomb the comments. Just be like, SL20, SL20, SL20. Oh, man. Luis Becerra ran on my SL20 today. Got mine for $60. See, such a great price. And Terrence Hui said Seth did a video about Adidas and praised SL20 the most. Awesome. Very cool. Jay Page, Seth had an Adidas matrix. I love his matrices, but they're so complicated. Like I feel like that's all. It's just so, when he does it, he doesn't do any, like he will be the first to admit he doesn't do anything like a little. He does everything like full, like both feet jumping in, and like when he makes a shoe matrix, he dives in. Martha says, what's the SL and the 20 represent anyway? I think the 20 is for the year because like Solar Boost was Solar Boost 19 and like Ultra Boost, like they went from Ultra Boost like 3.0 to 4.0. There were never any 0.5s, but it was always 3.0, 4.0. Then it went like Ultra Boost 19, Ultra Boost 20 for the year. Yeah, so I think that the 20 is for the year. The SL, I have no idea. Because like it's not solar or anything like that. So, Lewis, was it Lewis M? Where did that comment just go? Someone sent, was it Lewis M? Yeah. Lewis M said like he had sent me some pictures. Where did that go? Of the like the collab versions of the SL20s, and they were nice. But I didn't. I mean, like I think the materials are gonna make the difference because the designs I thought were like kind of like they're regular colors. I don't feel like they changed up like the design of the shoe that much. I just felt like, oh, that's like a blue one. But if there's suede on it or something else kind of ridiculous, then I might have to pick up another pair. Rick Vegas says, I drink so many of those high brews, the one with protein. I didn't know there's one with the protein in it. I might get that. Terrence Hui says, slightly older than Kofuzi, but in college days, maybe because I'm in NorCal, Sierra Nevada is more prevalent than macro beer. Maybe. I remember the first time I ever had a Sierra Nevada wasn't until after college, which for me was like in 2001, 2002. So, yeah. So like that's the first time I ever had, and I just thought it was delicious. I was like, this is a great beer. I don't understand, because I'd been drinking like only macro brews. The closest thing to like a microbrew I drank like in my college days would have been like Fat Tire, which is a delicious beer. I still like it, but gives you an idea of like some of the lack of there was some variety, but what was really popular in St. Louis back then, at least amongst the people that I knew, was like I drank a lot of Newcastle. If I wasn't drinking like a complete macro beer, or like Coors Light or Coors or Budweiser or Bud Light or Natty Light or Milwaukee's Best Light, Natty Light. I said that already. We never drank Busch Light though, for whatever reason. So I drank like Newcastle. I drank, there were a couple of local like microbreweries that just opened up towards the end of my time in college, in the area, Schlafly, which is pretty good. And then, we drank a lot of like porters and stouts, and like the darker the better, just like stuff that was basically like charcoal-y chocolate milk coffee, like those kinds of flavors. So that's kind of what we drank for a very long time. Raul Sanchez says, any suggestions for track day shoes specifically for speed work and faster repeats? I really like the Adios 5. I also think that the Skechers Performance Speed Elite, is that what they're called? Yeah, those would be good. I'd like the Meta Racer for that as well. But I just saw in Ben Parks, was it his Instagram story? He got the, what are they called? The something, dragonflies? Vapor? No, not like, they're like Venom. There's another V word in there. I forget. The track one. He got them in white. They look really nice. Yeah, Chris Dyke is doing coffee today as well. Rainy morning. Just feels like a hot drink afternoon. Yeah. Jeff Elliott says Java Monster is delicious and widely available. Not vegan, of course. That is kind of everywhere, isn't it? Wasn't fun. Backstros is here. Gavin Braden says, you need an espresso martini. My wife and I used to drink. There's a place near us that we used to go, and they used to have like martini happy hour Fridays. It was like $5 for martinis, and my wife and I would go and have a lot. This was way before we had kids, and we'd have a lot of those. There's a little bar called Matisse. It's like a basement bar, but they had a really nice outdoor kind of patio, and I miss that place. That was a nice place. It wasn't that nice, but we had a good time there. Ty Matt is firing up the kettle for a pour over. Coffee is addictive. Sure is. Pedro Sora says, yo, bro, just want to thank you for your content. Watching this channel made me leave the couch and get back to the game. Just beat the 10K milestone. Well, that's awesome, man. Good work, Pedro. Glad to have you here, and thanks for showing up. Dave says, yo, from Wales. All right. Dave is drinking a Brewdog Punk IPA. I'm not familiar with that one. Let's see. Mark Chancoco says, great 1 mile time trial. Dude, crushed it. Yeah. Oh, I'm definitely not used to that. Even with some of like the hill surges that I've been doing, they just haven't been long enough to really get used to doing a mile time trial. And at about the half mile mark, my arms just started burning. like the lactic acid built up, and like I felt like it cleared the legs and just like stuck in my fingers. Afterwards, I was like shaking my hands because like everything was so like just it stung and was so heavy and weird. I had my selfie stick, so I was like holding the selfie stick and like ooh, like that. It was really weird. And I did like the math wrong because I did like I was like, I don't want to just do a mile time trial for the day, so I'll do like a 5-mile run and then a 1-mile time trial. And I did the math wrong. So the finish line ended up being really much further than I thought it was going to be. And like, I kind of had to like curl through like a parking lot in order to avoid like trying to run across a very, very, very busy road. And so that was kind of weird. So I'm standing in the parking lot, like, I was dry heave after a hard run, and then I was doing that and like screaming and like shaking my arms like this. I can't imagine like what people were thinking if they saw that. So it's pretty funny. I'm very much out of shape for that kind of running. All right. Let's see. Louis M says, guess this is a sober happy hour. I kind of goofed and got wild turkey. That's okay. Sometimes I have beer and other people don't. So if you got wild turkey, cheers. Enjoy. JC has gone in for sub 6 myself. Not sure when. Very cool. Tony Masia says the SL20 sound is too low. It needs more roar. You couldn't hear it. Oh, okay. Well, tomorrow I'll try to crank it up a little bit. Okay, Jeff Elliott giving us some updates on what Ben Parks had today. He did the Dragonfly track spikes with a big hole at the back of the heel. Really cool looking. Every time I saw pictures of that spike, I thought that people were cutting out the hole in the back. Like I thought that there was like a circle, like maybe like an emblem or some sort of like patch area that people were like, boom, I'm just going to poke a hole in that. But I guess if it normally has a hole, all right, cool. I don't understand that, but I don't really wear spikes. Not anymore, so I'm not going to judge. Juco82 says, hello from Finland. Thanks for the content. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much. Henry Le says, thoughts on running every day? I enjoy it. I love it. I try to run every day. Yeah. Not all says, best shoe for the overpronated runner at the moment. I think it depends on, how overpronated you are. I would say, what is the version of the Triumph? That's the stability version. That's probably the one I would pick. Bert Leguess recommending the Arahi or a Gaviota. Those are good. I think those are good choices as well, although I haven't run in them. I ran in the GT 2000 version 8, which is a stability shoe too. I actually really like that one. That one didn't bother me too much, but I did keep my mileage on it very low because I don't tend to get along well with stability shoes. Louis M says, I watched your Hot Ones vid yesterday. My favorite one is still Bill Burr's. Yeah. Oh, man. I watched an episode of it where they tried to do it like virtually, and it didn't have the same connection. I just didn't like it at all. I was like, this is interesting, but I didn't like it. Like I need the black background. I need like the table. I need like the face to face like that. I think that the interview takes a different tone when you have that kind of connection as well, when you're eating with someone too. So I just didn't like it, which I'm disappointed that I didn't like it. Terrence Hui says the Hurricane. That's the Stability Triumph. That's the one that I think is probably going to be the best stability shoe on the market right now. And the Guide is the Stability Ride. So I would look at the Guide and the Hurricane. I think it's funny that like they went with like Triumph and like, so it's like Ride and Guide. Okay, there's a connection in the names. They went with like Triumph and like Hurricane. I wonder what. They're both on the same number, aren't they? Or is the Hurricane at a lower number? Maybe one came before the other. Because it's like, yeah. But then again, Saucony has like the Freedom and the Liberty, so like two like similar kind of names. One is like the stability version of the other, and that confused me for a good 3 years. I think since the beginning that each of those shoes existed. Mike House says, "What rhymes with Triumph?" Yeah, I mean that's the thing. What rhymes with Triumph? Or like what like, I mean, what do you call it? Like a trumpet? Like a Traverse, that's already a car name, so it's like, I don't know. One Moon Valley says, what's your favorite Chicago area half marathon race and why? I'd say probably the Chicago half marathon, just because it's the biggest one. It's right before the Chicago marathon, and it's a good time of year. I'm trying to think of other Chicago marathons I've run. I haven't run that many other ones. There was supposed to be one in June for the first time this year, I think. And then, because I think that like what Chicago is trying to do is have like, there's the Bank of America Shamrock Shuffle, and then there's the Bank of America Chicago Marathon. And I think they're trying to make like a race series. So like the Shamrock Shuffle, which is a 8K that starts the season like in March, then have one in like June. Then I think they're like New York Roadrunners has like a series of races that it can have. So I think they're trying to do that or thinking about that. So introducing more races. But they didn't have it this year, obviously, for obvious reasons. But yeah, I like that race just because I've done it a whole bunch of times. It was my first half marathon. It was my first long event. I ran for the first time in 2010. So like I go back with that race. And I also do just like the distance, but I would love to be able to find like a half marathon to travel for. Like I'd love to run a half marathon where like the half marathon is more, I mean, I guess the Chicago half marathon isn't like part of a bigger event, but like a destination half marathon. What are some of the best half marathons that you guys think? Like where should I go once like everything like clears up and I can go somewhere? Oh yeah, Toshak Singal says Triumph and Victory. There you go. That would be a good combo. Let's see. Lydia Kim says, hey Kafuz, you remember you said you went to Korea with your uncle? I wonder if you were indeed Korean. I'm Russo-Korean guy. LOL, not that it matters, just curious. Yeah, I am Korean. I haven't been there since I was like 12 or so. So it's been a long time. Ruben Zimmerman, I got the Vomero 14 for $70 US. You think it's a good deal today? Yeah, I think that's a good deal. Yeah, Gavin Braden says Shamrock Shuffle sounds like what you do after a few too many in an Irish pub. Well, I mean, they do it. It's right around St. Patrick's Day, so that's where that comes from in March. And I've only done it once, but it was a fun event. It was a lot of fun. Duke BB22 says, what is a good trainer for a 215 pound 6 foot 1 inch beginner? I would look at the 1080 V10 or the Triumph 18. Yeah. JC says, I got an email today from 6 Minute Mile through Marathon Photo, he thinks. One of the topics was short shorts. What world record holders wore, and a frightening callback to President Clinton and his pasty white ties. That's so funny. Oh, man. That would be a good Trivia Tuesday. So, I like that. I'm going to have to try and find that. What world record holders wore. Like, I imagine you mean like during like their race. But I feel like, I mean, that's going to be pretty, the answer is almost, for a lot of them, is going to be like, 2-inch split short. Chris Yao says, come down to Miami in January 2021 for the half marathon. I mean, is the marathon still planning on going? I don't know. I think it's going to be a long time before I feel comfortable going to Florida. I mean, I guess if there's a vaccine, I'm ready to go. Simon Evans says the Triumph and its stability counterpart should be the Triumph and the Surrender. Funny. Oh, Martha says, Mountains to Beach has a half marathon and marathon. I've done the half marathon a few times, mostly gentle downhill. Well, that sounds fun. I'm always down for a downhill race. I mean, and I want like I'm split between like should I have the discipline to like not like downhill races so much, or should I just lean into it? Because I feel slightly embarrassed that I like downhill races so much, but I also feel like I'm pretty good at running downhill. So like, am I being like shamed out of enjoying something that I'm naturally good at? I don't know. But Santa Face says, "Can you shave off your facial hair right now?" It's pretty funny coming from Santa Face. Santa's got this whole bunch of facial hair. So, Jay Page says, "I would love to do a nighttime race one day." I've done some night racing. There's two. I think there's two kinds of night races. There's running at night, which I've done like during like a Ragnar relay where you like run around the clock. Not you, but like you might have a leg that happens to come in the middle of the night. And that I do not like at all. I just don't like running at night in the darkness. That's terrible. But like when I've done like pop-up races and those are at night, it's super fun. Like when you're running in city and everything's lit by like street light, that's super fun. I really do enjoy that. So yeah, that is pretty cool. Frank LaHulier says, "Wouldn't the princess have your requirements?" I think it would. That'd be a good one. Maybe. Yeah, I mean, basically, my wife is just like dying to go to Disney World right now. So I think that's what the princess have. That's who does it, right? So yeah, I think that would work. I mean, like whenever I can go. Does anyone have an update on how things are going at Disney World? Because they opened up like right as Florida started like going nuts with cases. So I wonder if like their like measures have been successful. I was reading today that like the NBA has also had like another like where no one's testing positive, which I think is amazing. I think that's great. And not what I expected at all. So pretty cool. Let's see. Martha says, Kofuzi, I'm the same. I know people who hate running downhill and get injured doing it. So it's not the best for everyone, but I'll take it any day. Me too. Maybe I gotta do that. Maybe I gotta look. I mean, I've said that many times. I definitely gotta do that race. Party Guinness says, anyone signed up to Athens Marathon in November? If it will go ahead, who knows? That'll be interesting. Because I thought Greece was doing really well. I have a friend and a guy that used to work for me. They were going to have a destination wedding in Greece this September, but they postponed it. Because I don't think they could get there, nor could any of their guests. That was the problem. Lewis M. said, "Did you check out any Houstonian breweries when you came down for the marathon?" I did not have time to do that because I came down for the marathon like Friday. I had enough time to go to like the expo, and then I guess I would have had time on Saturday, but I really wasn't like thinking about checking out breweries. And then Sunday I went like I basically like ran the race. Well, I drank a lot of beers afterwards. Because I found like a Michelob Ultra booth that was just giving away beers. And so I hung out with a couple of people there and drank beers until they ran out. And then I took a shower at my hotel room and I had to leave. So it was a pretty short trip. But I would love to be able to go back. Simon Evans says, there's a marathon in Spain where they bus the runners to the top of a mountain and then they run 26 miles to the bottom. I mean, that's basically what the tunnel marathon is. I mean, they don't bring you to the top of a mountain, but I think it's like 2,000 feet up. So is that a mountain? Does that qualify as a mountain? I don't know. Nam says, Kofuzi, a few days ago you told me that for my training I should just have fun and run my highest mileage weeks. I'll definitely be taking that advice because I'm a freshman and haven't met my coach yet. Yeah, I think that especially if you're going into a season and who knows if you'll like kind of have a season, I wouldn't worry too much about workouts. Just make sure you're getting out there. And as long as you have like, I feel like if I were a freshman high school, I'm assuming high school, freshman like high school like track coach or a cross country coach. Like the only real thing that I would want out of most of my runners would be like, please just tell me you ran at least somewhat regularly over the summer. And for those that are like a little bit more serious, like the team leaders, I would have expected that they followed, a somewhat like at least a very consistent, if not maybe a little bit more structured kind of routine. But I think that's kind of like all I would really be looking for. Terrence Hui says, night race. For a night race, look at Rock and Roll Las Vegas. That would be a fun night race. Ooh. Let's see. Tony Messia says, see, as soon as I say it, the comment jumps around. Running downhill is a skill. Embrace it. I don't care for the overly downhill ones like Revel, though. I feel it's against the spirit of the distance. Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of where you kind of have to balance it, but it's just so much fun for me. I love it. Yeah, Backfam says, the future should be a shoe where you can connect your watch and press a button which activates stability in the shoe of mile 23 of a marathon to help finish out a race. Or rockets, either way. Well, I mean, that's kind of like the Back to the Future shoes. Like when they were, like after a while, they just like automatically, like they sensed your feet were in there and then they tightened up. Martha says, agree that most of the Revel races look way too extreme downhill. Tunnel and mountains to beach are only around 3% decline. Yeah, I'm not familiar with the Revel races, so I might look into that. Like, is that like a real, like a mountain downhill? Because like I think that's also a very different skill as well. But mountains to beach and like the tunnel marathon, I mean, I never felt like I was like, whoa, I got to slow myself down running this downhill. But there were times where I was like, oh, this is a lot of fun. There's other times where I felt like it was kind of flat. And there are a couple of the flat sections, like mile 1 and like mile 20 are just dead flat, but or something around that mark. But for the most part, it's just pretty constant, gradual, gentle downhill slope. It's just a lot of fun. Yeah, Shannon says, I can't imagine downhill racing is good on the knees. It's terrible for my posterior tibial tendonitis. Yeah, I mean, I remember as I was training for that race, people were like very, very assertive in comments saying like, you are going to hurt yourself. You have not done any quad loading or all this other stuff. And like, you're just going to have a horrible time. And like, you'll be lucky if you survive. And I was just like, really? Are you sure about that? Because I didn't do any specific training. I mean, I did marathon training, but I didn't do any downhill training for that race. And so I don't know. Mark Chancoco updating on the Disney situation. It's open. People are going. So are the other theme parks here. That's good to know. I'm glad. Guy says, we have a 10K trail night series in the UK in the depths of winter. It is the best. That I think I could totally get down with. It'd be so cold though, but I think I would really enjoy that. Yeah. Greg Itahara says, run the Disney Dopey. I thought it was kind of fun. Kinda. Yeah, I mean, that's something that I've been talking about with my wife to do the entire challenge. And I suppose, well, maybe not. We'll see. I'm not teaching this semester, which is an issue because the first day of the Dopey Challenge starts at like on Thursday night, doesn't it? Because you run like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, I think. So if I teach Friday mornings, but I might teach in the spring. We'll see. I'm guessing probably not, but we'll see. Carlos Ceja says, what's your favorite fast food place? Chipotle. I miss it so much. Graham Howe says, hello, Mr. Ko. Just tuning in from South Africa. Oh, that's awesome. Glad to have you here, Graham. Thanks for joining in. Carlos says, mine is Taco Bell. My first like real job was at a Taco Bell. Like as soon as I turned old enough in the state of New Jersey to have a part-time job, I applied like on my birthday to go work at a Taco Bell because I loved Taco Bell so much. DEW Running is suggesting that Iron Horse Half Marathon in the fall. Leaves are turning along narrow roads lined by stone walls with thoroughbred horses running. What? Thoroughbred horses running along? So nice. Midway, Kentucky, outside of Lexington. Oh. That's kind of road trippable too. Like I could drive to that. That's kind of like what I'm kind of like envisioning for like the Kofuzi like coronavirus is over tour, is that I'm just gonna drive everywhere. So we'll see how that goes. But Iron Horse Half Marathon. I think I've seen that one before. I think I've looked that one up before. Is that the one where the dog ran the half marathon and like came in 7th? Isn't it? No, that one of them was like in England, but there was another one in the U.S. that happened, right? Why is that Iron Horse Half Marathon sounds so familiar to me? Yeah. Someone was telling me that 2,000 feet is not a mountain. Probably not. I mean, I didn't say it was. I'm saying it probably wasn't, but it seems like a mountain to me. Bert Glagas says the highest hill in Belgium is 2,000 feet and is officially not a mountain. I think like isn't it 5,000 feet is considered a mountain? Like above? Is it above sea level or above the rest of everything else? I think it's above sea level, but yeah. Dave says 610 meters is a mountain, at least in the UK. Oh, I didn't know that it was different in different countries, although I suppose that makes sense. Matt Ponzer says this is his first time making a live stream live. Awesome. Glad to have you here. Not All says, what watch are you currently using? I'm currently wearing the Polar Grit X. I keep saying that I'm going to try something new, but now might be a good time. I just got another like monthly like payment from Amazon for like the affiliate links and stuff. So that'll help defray some of the cost if I can get one on Amazon. Carlos Ceja says, tomorrow I get to meet up with my cross-country team, split it into ES boys, ES girls, MS boys, MS girls, high school boys, and high school girls. It's a first practice and a 3K time trial. All right, Carlos, you're going to have to let us know how it goes. Good luck tomorrow. Should be fun. I was just thinking that I because I was thinking like I did the mile time trial today, and I did another mile for a cool down, and as I was cooling down, I was thinking like, the mile makes very little sense as a running race. I mean, it's nice. It makes sense because it's a round number in terms of if you're on like imperial, like so a mile, right? But if you're on metric, it makes no sense. The 1,500 makes sense, but the 1K makes more sense than the 1,500, and then the 3K makes more sense. And I'm like, why aren't there more 3K races? There should be more 3K races. I guess they're too short. Like if there was going to be like the standalone race, like if it was something that you're going to ask people to like get up early on a Saturday and like go get a bib and stuff like that, 3K, is that too short? But I just feel like that would be a fun race. It would be hard because you're just going to be a lot of anaerobic, I'd be very lactic by the end of it, but and I'd be shaking my arms like crazy. But I think that'd be a fun race, and I feel like there should be more 1,500s and 3,000s. Metal 37 says, totally unscientific observation. The higher the athlete's education, the more likely they'll trade themselves into an injury. Yeah, can you give me some examples of athletes that you think that don't have education? Like, how are we comparing that? Because I kind of get what you're saying, but FMB says, if I'm running 10K or less, what competition shoes would you recommend? 65 kilograms and 165 centimeters. Sometimes do triathlons. I'm not sure what that corresponds to. So that's like 150 pounds or so. I'm not sure. 165 centimeters. I don't know what that translates to. But for 10K races, my favorite 10K shoe right now is definitely the Meta Racer. Unless I've said something different in the past, then I'll agree with what I said before. But I really like the Meta Racer for short distance. The Speed Elite, I think, is really fun for that shorter distance as well. I don't think Skechers Performance has put out... I mean, the Razor 3 might be it, but I don't really feel like they've put out a marathon racer yet. which makes sense because like all their pro athletes tend to be super fast, and like Meb runs in a shoe that most people would not consider a marathon racer, and then Cheserek is like a what events does he run these days? But he was like a cross country and track star, so those are the shoes that they're designing for. But 10K or less, yeah, I would look at those two. What else do I like in that category? Hoka's Rocket X. No, Carbon Rocket. The name always kind of like confuses me. Those are some that I would look at. Chris Dyke says, combining a couple of previous comments, there's a Michelob Ultra night race in October. 5K and 10K looks like. There we go. There we go. Tying it all together. Frank Lullier says, I always thought the Revel races were basically just paying a lot so you get a half-attempted barbecue. Maybe. I don't know. I'm the food aspect never really entertains me as much after a race. I thought kind of one of the best ones that I went to, even then, wasn't like that great when like the big like item was food. I did the Country and Soul SOLE 10K like several years ago, and it was really cold when I ran it. I ran it with a couple of friends, and afterwards there was breakfast, so it was like biscuits and gravy to go with like the country theme, and lots of bacon. And I was like, well, I guess I'll eat the biscuit and gravy and the eggs, but I won't have the bacon or the sausage. But I mean, like, making eggs for that many people and then trying to serve it in the middle of a football field is kind of a hard thing to do. But I kind of enjoyed that. Ooh, Bert, I guess, says Antwerp was planning a night marathon. Ooh. Jody runs says, have you seen the Mount Marathon race in Alaska? The downhill is just insane and would love to do it. There's a YouTube video by Solomon. I'll have to look at that because I'm not familiar with the Mount Marathon race. I mean, Mount Marathon. Now that's a powerful name for a mountain. I like that. Chris Dyke says, register for the Barkley Marathon? No. He said, I watched that vid on Amazon the other day. It's nuts. It is nuts, and I don't think I would ever do that. I mean, I think it was last summer where I was at my parents' house back when they lived in like Central Jersey, and they took me to a park that they like to walk around in, and like they walked for a little bit and I ran. And I was just going to run around this park and then do like 3 laps around it because it was like a 1 mile loop. And I got lost in like just like a park. So like anything where I'd have to like navigate unmarked trails at night and in like cold conditions, like I endurance wouldn't be my issue. Navigation would be the issue. Endurance would probably also be an issue, but I'd just be so bad at that. I'd be frustrated. Oh, man. Mohammed says, will we see any Chicago run reviews anytime soon? Probably not. Jeff Elliott says, where'd it go? I ran the something. I ran the Disney World full in 2010, and it was a lot of fun. Just remember that you shouldn't walk around for days before the race. Yeah, I think that's the hard part about it, too. The other thing that's going to be hard if I do the Dopey Challenge, Jeff, is that as soon as I'm done, my girls are going to be like, all right, now let's go to Disney World. And, like that in and of itself is like an endurance feat, like taking children to Disney World. So, like, that's going to be the real challenge. Not the running. It's going to be the running and then having to go spend the day on your feet with your kids when the kids want to be like picked up and carried or carry their stuff or just all that stuff. Louis M. says, worked at Taco Bell for almost 4 years. Worked as a cashier, cooked, and shift lead. Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed it. It was a fun job. I mean, you came home smelling like Taco Bell, and that took a long time to kind of like. You just had to take a long shower after that, but I enjoyed the work. Um, there was something about it that I thought was great. Although I hated the double decker tacos. I think they call them something different now, but I was working there when like the double decker taco came out, and I was like, ugh, this is like twice the work. You're doing the work twice because you got to take the tortilla, put beans in it, and then make another taco inside of it, and it was just so annoying. I hated that. It was tasty, but a great solution to like you want your crunchy shell taco, but you hate how it falls apart, so you have a wrapper, flour tortilla wrapper. It was great, but yeah. Mike House says, "Do you still love Taco Bell after working there?" Yeah, I do. There was a Taco Bell that opened up right by my house. Like it opened up this year, I want to say, and man, I loved it. I would just order. So I'm always constantly like kind of running a little bit late picking up the kids, or taking them from like one activity to another. So what I would do is I would leave the house, and if I had to go get them or like go pick them up from somewhere, I would walk by the Taco Bell, grab 2 bean burritos, and eat a couple bean burritos on my way to places. And I felt like I mean, I was in a much better mood every time I got anywhere. I felt like, there's a lot of lard in there, but it's beans. So, nice plant protein. So I think there's lard in them. Although I think that their beans are completely vegan. But I know it's probably not the healthiest kind of like grab and go food, but I just felt like it was better than getting somewhere and eating like 3 like Cliff Bars. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. But I still do love Taco Bell food. But now my like selections are much more limited since I don't eat meat anymore. Metal 37 says, "Where are you from in New Jersey?" I kind of spent my time in a couple of places. So my parents came to New Jersey. Is my mom in here, by the way? I didn't see her. My parents came to New Jersey in 1982. So my dad could go to school. So he went to Drew University. And so we lived there, which was in Madison, New Jersey. So I think that's Middlesex County. And we lived in that kind of area for a really long time. And then once I was about like 5th grade or so, 6th grade, we moved down to Monmouth County. Kind of like where, do you remember, I don't know if you guys remember when MTV had MTV Spring Break. Like the first one of those, it was like super low budget. It was like not far from where I lived. And then like the area I lived, the View Askew guys, like so Jay and Silent Bob, like that was like the next town over from where I kind of spent a lot of my formative years. And then for high school, like halfway through, or not even quite halfway through high school, we moved to the other side of the state in Hunterdon County, which is basically like everyone from like the New York, Connecticut area that wanted to go to Hershey Park, you came through there. That's kind of like the only thing it was known for. There was a movie filmed there, I think sometime around 1996, 1995. I'd never seen it. And then we got a Walmart sometime around 1997, I want to say. Really small town called Quakertown. Yeah. So my first jobs were before I worked at Taco Bell. Before that, I worked on a pumpkin farm. No joke. Sounds like a joke, but it isn't. I to this day though, I'm not a huge fan of pumpkins. Louis M says, "Taco Bell hack, everyone. Nacho Supreme with shredded chicken and black beans instead of beef and refried beans." Interesting. All right, let's do one more. Then I got to get going. Sorry, I'm really far behind on the comments today. I got kind of caught up. Let's see. What? Arnold Allen says his first job was as a carny. Amazing. Really amazing. And Mike House says they got rid of potatoes at Taco Bell too, so now the choices are even more limited. That stinks. JCC says, "Why do you think Strava removed the weekly mileage from the main profile?" I don't know. I didn't even notice that until someone else mentioned it on, I think, Twitter. But it's kind of a strange choice. I don't get it. I think here's the thing that I don't like about the way that Strava keeps track. Where does it? No, Strava does keep track. It's Polar that mixes them all together. Or which way is it? Like if you've got running and bicycling activities, Strava keeps those separate, I think. Yeah. So I thought maybe could be a reason why, because it was like screwing people up, but I don't know. Well, Ross W says, I'm scheduled for a half marathon race on Labor Day. Extremely elaborate safety precautions and no aid stations. Got to carry your own water. That's interesting. That sounds kind of... Well, good luck, Ross. Hopefully it goes well, and hope you have a good race. Yeah. All right. Meadow37 says, they should give free scooters to all parents that participate in the Disney races. That should be it. Or what they should do is they should offer those for a rental for a fee. I think they'll make a lot of money off of those people. And then if you put like a metal hanger in the back, so you could be like on a rascal. So I could be like riding around Disney World like this. And then on the back, I have like my dopey marathon metal hanging off it. That'd be kind of fun. I'd pay for that. Arnold Allen says, I've been to Taco Bell twice in my life. I'm happy I live in Texas. Real tacos. I think Taco Bell came from Texas, though, right? That was my understanding. I could be real wrong on that one. I thought it was Texas is where it came from. But I remember my first, and I'll end on this one for today. My first Taco Bell that I went to was since we were talking about it, in Middlesex County. It was like across the street from the Middlesex Mall, where they had a Roy Rogers in the parking lot, if I'm remembering it correctly. And they were like really close to each other. But the first time I had Taco Bell, I was like, I don't know what this is, but it's amazing. I love it. And I was like, I don't even care that they don't have a Happy Meal. I just like the food. So like that's how much I liked it, and I've always kind of liked it. I know it's not real tacos. You know, I'm not like deluded that it is somehow representative or like you know, keeping true to any culinary tradition. But I also really like Panda Express, and I don't think that's Chinese food either, but I just think it's tasty. So I have horrible taste in food. I think we all know that. But all right, I think I'm gonna have to end it there today, everybody. Hopefully there was only one live stream after like the little blip of that earlier. So if I haven't been responding to your comments, hopefully you were in the right one. And also hopefully all the chat is retained for anyone watching this after the fact, so you can enjoy the conversation, because that's what makes these live streams great, is everyone here hanging out and talking. So I'm gonna get going. Hopefully you guys have a good rest of your Thursday, and you know what, we're almost at the end of the week, guys. So tomorrow morning there'll be another video in the morning. I'm not sure what it's gonna be yet, but we'll figure that out. I'll figure that out soon, kind of, and then we'll do another live stream in the afternoon, same time, 3 p.m. In the meantime, hopefully you guys are staying safe out there, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks, everybody.